No time for theories, just results. Today on Fortitude Through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. I'm reading this in Indianapolis, Indiana, getting ready to head to Tampa today. And this one, for me, I take a little bit differently, but we're going to go down the path. The quote is by Musonius Rufus. When the problem arose for us, whether habit or theory was better for getting virtue, if by theory is meant what teaches us correct conduct, and by habit we mean being accustomed to act according to this theory, Musonius thought habit to be more effective. Hamlet says there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. So what Ryan Holiday is saying in the Daily Stoic here, based on those two quotes, is there is no time to chop logic over whether theories are correct. We're dealing with real life situations. So no matter how we're going to deal with this situation, it's right in front of you. And what he's saying is we can't forget that although theories are clean and simple, which they really are because they're created in a vacuum, situations are not that clear and simple. And so I'm just going to kind of pause here, right? And this, I don't want to go too deep because honestly, it's a Friday for me. But theory or results, right? So many people I see on the internet talking about what's required to get the success. But in my experience, they're selling something, right? So I'm always curious about their actual results. And so if we're talking about, let's just say politics really quick, communism versus capitalism, right? We look at pure communism and we see things like North Korea, China pre-1970, Cuba, right? And we know in theory, it sounds great, right? Everyone's equal, everyone has the same, no one owns, everyone's property is shared at all. I mean, in theory, it sounds wonderful, but in reality, we see it's not. The results are not what the theory suggests. And so this is with information. And yesterday I was with one of my clients and they were given a lot of information by a lot of people and it was all wrong. I mean, really wrong. Almost like illegally wrong. So there are a lot of theories out there. And what I've learned to do is to kind of sift through the theories and kind of look for patterns in success. And so what do you mean by that, Shawn? So when I got in the mortgage business, I realized that where I was producing wasn't where I wanted to be. And so what I did was I looked at the people who were getting the success, the results, right? What were they doing to get those results? And oftentimes in life, people are looking for the elevator and not the stairs, which is the problem because when the actual rubber hits the road, they're not willing to do the work required to get the results. They just want the knowledge and they think that that'll bring them closer. So what I do is I look for patterns in books, financial books, all that. I look for patterns from people who have had success in a particular industry, niche, sector, hobby, problem, whatever that is, whatever I'm looking at, I look for patterns in the results, patterns in the activity that gave the results. I don't give a shit about the theory, right? Because here's also true is that my theory for success and my practical application of that theory provides me the results I'm looking for. I am not you. You are not me. We have completely different capabilities, completely different talents, completely different skill sets, ideology, mentality, mindset, physical abilities, intellectual capabilities, and emotional intelligence. So then how is it that I can possibly use someone else's theory to produce the results I'm looking for. And that's where I take the patterns, right? If these things are working for a few different people, well, then that's the pattern. I'm going to do those things. But if one guy who is successful says, oh, the key to success is waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, snorting a line of cocaine, banging a bunch of hookers and robbing a bank, may work for him, but it's not my version of success, right? And so his theory is not in alignment with my values. So that's why I really believe that patterns are important, right? And so I look at people who are successful and I see things like discipline. I see things like nonstop learning. I see things like character development. So I do those things and I'm getting the results. So in lieu of subscribing to a theory all in, and again, Stoicism, right, is a theory. It's a philosophy. It is a message on how to live the best life, right? At the core of what Stoicism is how to live a good life. Now, these principles have been developed arguably over millennia. A lot of them came from an ancient time, simpler time. However, a lot of those principles and values are still valid today, right? So, do we buy the theory in totality and just go with it? Or, like I'm doing now, implementing pieces of it into my life and finding value and enrichment from it? Now, I know that my personality type, I'm full of passion, full of energy. I'm a charismatic motherfucker. It's hard to put this in a box. I want to, like I really want to tone it down, but I'm intense. And what I'm realizing is that is part of my success, right? So I'm looking at Stoicism for me as a little bit of polish on the rough edges, right? I'm not looking to chisel whole chunks, right? I'm looking to polish some areas where it's a little rough for me. So Stoicism is a theory. I'm in. But I'm applying it to my life because life is real. We're not old men sitting on the steps of the Stoa talking about theory. I am in highly intense situations professionally with no sleep, relentless travel, unrealistic expectations. And I have to maintain my composure in that. That's real. We're not just sitting around talking about some shit, right? I'm in the shit. And I will tell you this, I'm glad that I'm wrapping this blanket of Stoicism around myself because it is a shield. People don't realize the significance of our time and our energy. Once you truly, truly understand that, only then can you truly demonstrate any level of self-love and compassion. So, for me, no time for theories. I like the patterns. I look for consistency in the patterns producing consistent results. That for me, I buy in. What I call it is I plagiarize that shit and I put my shade of lipstick on the same pig, right? I make it mine. Listen, there's no reason to recreate success. It's been done. Find a version that works for you, plagiarize the shit out of it, do some polish and some lipstick and make that bitch yours. And on that, I'm getting in the shower.